We are back with another episode of UFC Main Event Prediction Show, and we have Manel Kape versus Asu Almabayev. Manel Kape is 31 years old. He is 165 centimeters tall, 173 centimeters in reach, compared to Asu Almabayev, who is also 31 years old, 163 centimeters tall, 165 centimeters in reach. So pretty similar stats. We just have an 8 centimeter reach advantage for Manel Kape. Manel Kape came into the UFC off of the Ryzen Championship, and he fought the current champion, Alexandre Pantoja, and lost a unanimous decision. Then he fought Matheus Nicolau, who is a pretty decent fighter, and lost by split decision. After that, I think Manel Kape really put his foot on the gas in these upcoming fights, and since then, he's looked really good. Knocking out Ode Osborne in round 1, knocking out Zalgas Zumagulov in round 1, decisioning David Dvorak after dropping him multiple times, decisioning Felipe dos Santos after dropping him multiple times, losing to Mohamed Mokaev by unanimous decision in a pretty close fight, to be honest, and then TKOing Bruno Silva in round number 3. So something that Manel Kape really had to work to overcome in his career is really allowing his opponents to outwork him. I think that he's always been skilled, but in his Pantoja and Nicolau fights when he first got into the UFC, he thought that he was better than he actually was. He thought he was doing more than he actually was. And so he was content to sit back, land a punch here and there, do some good defense, and he thought that would be enough to get the job done. And the judges didn't see it that way. His opponents were outworking him. Ever since then, he's really put his foot down on the gas. What are his good qualities? Well, he's extremely fast. He's got very good cardio for doing so much. He is now putting his foot down on the gas more, and is punishing his opponents for doing anything. He's a great counter striker. He is also just good at being aggressive. He targets the body extremely well. He'll throw kicks to the body. He'll throw knees to the body. He'll throw punches to the body. He'll punch in combinations, which is something not a lot of UFC fighters do. He has great head movement. He can shoulder roll with punches. And he has good footwork too. He's following his opponents forward. Now, as I said before, he does have a very high ego of himself. He'll allow himself to get complacent in fights. He'll allow himself to think that he's doing better than he is, and that can lead him into trouble with the judges, and it can also lead him into trouble with his opponents. If you are insistent that you're not hurt and your opponent's actually landing good strikes on you, then that's going to be an issue. And so he can be caught, he can get his legs kicked out from underneath him, and he can really be punished for being cocky. However, he is also an extremely durable fighter. Let's take a look at Asu Almabayev's record. So Asu Almabayev comes in off of Brave FC in 2022. He fights Ode Osborne and chokes him out in round 2. Then he fights CJ Vergara, Jose Johnson, and Matheus Nicolau, all beating them by decision, all in the year of 2024. And now he's fighting Manel Kape. So this is going to be a really good bout. What is Asu Almabayev good at? Well, he is actually surprisingly good at kicking. He throws calf kicks, body kicks, spinning kicks. He has this great combination where he'll throw a left hook and then follows that rotational force of his body into throwing a spinning right kick to his opponent as they're coming off of the cage. He has good power, knocking down Matheus Nicolau, allowing him to win that 3rd round. And actually, he has extremely good grappling too. He's able to get on top, go for submissions, go for ground and pound, and that's a great way for him to win the rounds. Now, I would love to talk more about Asu Almabayev, but I simply don't think that he has all of the skills that Manel Kape has. Manel Kape has an extra level when it comes to striking. His takedown defense is actually really good too. And he has speed, he has intuitiveness, He has combinations, he has angles, he has head movement, he has defense. Asu Almabayev does not really have any of those on the same level that Manel Kape has them. And I think there are multiple ways that Manel Kape can find weaknesses in Asu Almabayev's game and make him pay for those weaknesses. When he throws those big winding up overhand rights, Manel Kape can either slip on the inside of that overhand right and land a left hook on the inside, or he can shoulder roll with it and land a right hook countering it after he throws it. When Asu Almabayev goes in for takedowns, a flying knee could be there to knock him out, or Manel Kape could simply counter him with a stiff jab or defend the takedown. Asu Almabayev doesn't have anything special in terms of his takedowns. The real strength of his grappling comes from his relentlessness and his willingness to put himself out there and throw ground and pound when his opponents are throwing back at him, throwing up submissions and throwing ground and pound themselves. However, he's not dogged in search of the takedown. I don't think he's going to be dogged in search of the takedown on Manel Kape, because I think Manel Kape's going to be able to make him pay for searching for these takedowns over and over and over again. And the second or third time that he goes in for a takedown and he's just met with a knee to the body or a punch to the face, that's going to be very discouraging, and he'll probably be content to fight a stand-up fight until the end of the match, or at least try to get it into the clinch rather than diving at Manel Kape's legs over and over again. Manel Kape is extremely strong, so is Asu Almabayev. However, I do see this fight going to Manel Kape. I would rate him at about a -250 favorite, which I think he is, and I'm going to predict Manel Kape via a third round knockout. I think this fight's not going the distance, and I think it's going to be Manel Kape TKOing Asu Almabayev in the third round, similar to what he did against Silva in his last fight. Anyway, guys, that is my prediction. Let me know who you think's going to win, and then we'll be back to break it all down after the fact. See ya.